I'm just here to give you the reminder that Greg Abbott is a little piss baby. Let's see what the little piss baby has been up to this week. This is when he issues the disaster declaration. People have been without power since the start of the week. Again, Texas is experiencing rolling blackouts. Texas is having major power problems with their grid that still have not been remedied. Last year didn't teach them enough. So Governor Greg Abbott, the little piss baby, issues ice storm disaster declaration. Austin. Governor Greg Abbott today issued a disaster declaration for Texas counties impacted by this week's ice storm that caused widespread property damage, hazardous travel disruptions, and localized power outages. The disaster declaration includes Denton, Hayes, Henderson, Milam, Smith, Travis, and Williamson counties. Additional counties may be added to the declaration as damage assessments are completed. The state of Texas has provided all assistance requested throughout the severe weather this week. And we continue to ensure that communities across our state have the resources and support they need to recover from the winter weather event, said Governor Abbott. The piss baby. Through this disaster declaration, we will be able to provide additional assistance to Texans and communities who have experienced property damage and localized power outages from this ice storm in Texas. Texans are encouraged to continue reporting damages to the ISTAT damage survey so we can meet all needs in the recovery process. At the direction of Governor Abbott, the little piss baby, and in support of requests for assistance from local officials, repairs to damaged infrastructure, the disposal of debris, and damage assessments are underway and ongoing. This week, the governor urged Texans to report ice storm damage to homes and businesses using the ISTAT. Damage survey can be filled out, blah, 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 blah. I've issued a disaster declaration for Texas counties impacted by this week's ice storms. Texas is providing all available resources to help these communities recover. Thank you to our emergency response personnel helping their fellow Texans. Let's break this down. Greg Abbott, the little piss baby, has finally issued a declaration of disaster for Texas counties a week later. Texas is providing all available resources to help these communities recover. Obviously, you're not. If you went above and beyond, if you actually did your job, took off your little piss baby diaper and did something about it, you wouldn't have a malfunctioning grid, and Ted Cruz wouldn't be taking off to a tropical vacation while your constituents freeze to death. And thank you to emergency response personnel in helping their fellow Texans, because the little piss baby sure as hell won't be doing anything. He's going to leave it up to 911 to take care of cats frozen in trees and grandma who needs her medication but cannot step outside her front door without slipping and breaking her hip. And finding ways to take people to different community centers and whatnot in order to get the proper shelter with the power and the heat and the food and provisions that they need. Because the little piss baby isn't going to be doing anything. He's going to leave it to emergency response personnel to slap Band-Aids on individual problems rather than take care of the real problem. Greg Abbott has a backup generator so he doesn't have to freeze like the plebes. Of course he does. Where the fuck do you think he lives? What do you think he's doing during all of these rolling blackouts? What do you think he's doing? Where do you think he's sitting while people starve and freeze to death? He lives in a rich neighborhood, ones that are not affected by rolling blackouts or anything of the sort. For me, not for thee, rule that the Republicans and fascists live by. Well, if he got really drunk, theoretically, the little piss baby could experience a rolling blackout. Thanks for the chortle. Rich neighborhood doesn't even begin to cover it. The governor's mansion in which he lives is kitty corner to the Capitol building itself. His immediate neighborhood is half a dozen city blocks of government HQs and historic landmarks. His closest neighbor, as it were, is an investment penthouse on top of the Fairmont Hotel. They only did rolly blackouts for the poors last time, but at least I got to watch my neighbor stay warm for a couple of extra weeks. Probably has solar power too. Lion Ted is already beachside sipping a daiquiri for sure. People who don't trust science don't deserve electricity. Jesus wanted me to have extended range Wi-Fi. Ha 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 ha. Well, when you continually elect government officials against your self-interest, this is bound to happen. He beat Beto over 5 points this election cycle. After the 2021 and 2022 grid fiasco and Uvalde shooting. So shameful and a slap in the face to those children's parents. I'd like to say it's because Texas is gerrymandered as fuck, but there's definitely a lot of voting against one's best interests going on, and a ton who just don't vote. Gerrymandering and apathy are meant to go hand in hand. I want to find that video that's been going around. Where Texas people have resorted to going to dumpsters behind the H-E-B grocery store in Austin. This is not a couple of bums.
If you're living in the Northeast and you hear the wind whipping around outside, you may think you live in one of the coldest spots in the storm.
This is not a group of random junkies or other undesirables, as it were, dumpster diving behind grocery stores in Texas. These are normal, everyday people just like you and me. With a mix of inflation, freezing conditions, where your little piss baby and other piss babies like him, who are supposed to be in charge of these things, aren't doing shit about it. low wages, a loss of hope. You have normal, everyday people in Texas, which I can attest to is a beautiful state, dumpster diving behind grocery stores, resorting to digging through trash with cops there watching, making sure nobody fights over garbage pickings. This is what people are doing in the wonderful, patriotic state of Texas. Please help Texas edit. Can someone explain why I'm getting downvoted for this? What did I do wrong? Texas could help themselves by pulling a Michigan, and a bunch of pissed people could show up armed outside the governor's mansion. After all, I'm sure this shit is very legal in Texas, especially when Trumpers do it. Texas governor needs to get off his ass and get it done. The Lord helps those who help themselves. Well, that's the wrong quote to put. You know, you leave it at that, then he's going to consider himself not responsible for anything. Lord helps those who help themselves. Well, that's a springboard to, it's your fucking problem. Deal with it. I took care of myself. I got this position. I'm a little piss baby. I got mine. Abbott is happy to keep Texas a gun lover's dream because that costs literally zero public funds and does nothing substantial to help average Texans live lives of modern conveniences and 21st century comforts. It's like domestic abuse. Texans feel like they're being tough and rugged and most of all loyal. Truth is, they don't know their ass from a hole in the ground. Fix the grid, you lazy good-for-nothing fuck. But why, when he can blame it on Biden? He can't, because he doesn't have any connections to the national grid. Texas's power is exclusively supplied from Texas. You're assuming that the people who listen to him, A, vote, B, care. Of course, if they were connected to the national grid, it wouldn't be a problem. Counter argument, capitalism, something, something, socialism, bad, blah, blah, blah. Feel bad for all the Texans that didn't vote for this asshole. He doesn't even try to govern. Shouldn't get a dime of federal money unless they connect to a larger grid and give up their bullshit. Texans keep letting this shit heal and those like him get elected. God, I'm almost enjoying this shit. You Americans sure know how to entertain. Maybe funnel some money into sustaining the grid with upgrades and maintenance instead of shoveling it all into the pockets of a few people. Except the entire Republican agenda is about shoveling money into the pockets of the wealthy. Nah. Trying to build an explicitly illegal database of transgender people is far more important. Forever going to remember Abbott as the guy who tried to fuck a tree. Well, I'm forever going to know him as a little piss baby. I was just kidding, of course. Sure, he was just expecting everyone to eat cake while pulling themselves up by their bootstraps to keep warm. You know, I said this already. About France. When I did the little broadcast talking about how France seemed to understand democracy and American ideals far more than Americans. At the time, there were some millions of people out there. Now, there are like 10 times more. These people in France are still up in arms. Practically the entire damn nation is out on the streets because of a mere suggestion that they raise the retirement age by 2 years. And I think their existing retirement age was like 64, and they want to raise it to 66, or it was 62, and they want to raise it to 64. And my reaction was, they get to retire at 62. They're all out there now. They cut power off for their leaders, and they're wealthy, both alike. Like Fight Club, you know, we do this, we run that, we take care of your this, we're everywhere. We are well more than you people are in numbers. We can do whatever the fuck we want to you. That's what France did to their political leaders and their wealthiest people. They cut the power for them. They cut their heat. And now what they're doing is their grid workers are providing it for free to low-income homes, low-income areas, single parents, that sort of thing. They didn't just cut the power to their wealthy and their political leaders. They're giving it for free to people they're being told shouldn't be getting it because they can't pay. And here's Texas, under the lead of this little piss baby, freezing to death during unbelievably cold weather in the state of Texas, while this guy, you know, you don't have to ask, you know, is sitting pretty in some mansion or some penthouse, wherever the hell he lives, not experiencing power loss, not shivering from the cold, not digging out of a dumpster in the back of an H-E-B supermarket, maybe hoping for some of those overpriced eggs that are set to expire the next day, so they just dump them out, with their cops watching to make sure nobody pushes and shoves while they dig through a dumpster for food. These people just let it happen. And Ted Cruz is sipping a mimosa somewhere in the Caribbean. Now, I'm telling you, if we really understood American ideals, if we really understood what democracy was, what equity was, if we really understood the power we as people have over a little piss baby like Greg Abbott, the power would be on. His would be off. That's how you get him to understand he's in trouble and he is to take his job seriously. That's going to be how you do it. Of course, nobody's going to do anything. Nobody's going to care. Especially not in Texas. I want to find some of the commentary on that HEB dumpster diving crap. And I'm sure if it happened in the parking lot of one HEB, it's probably happening at, a lot more stores like HEB. Nope, I'm not. Going to a link. Ugh. I don't give a shit about Disney World. Should have searched for this before, but it was posted like 50 times. Under the dumpster diving. There's a dumpster diving subreddit. Okay, we can check this one out, I guess. Great state of Texas indeed. Won't be the last time it starts a dangerous trend. They're talking about wine. Ah, this is what they're talking about in the Our Texas sub. They're going after wine. Cheap, free wine. Apparently, it has nothing to do with rolling blackouts or hunger. Oh, look at the little coffee bear. Look at the little tigers. MAGA dumb fucks crash into each other. They don't even get along with each other, do they? Give me a mirror. Yeah. I'm glad they provide all these mirror links now. It's practically impossible to get videos to load properly on Reddit. Ah, there's his little flag. Oh, shit. Ha ha! Let's watch that again. Oh my God. Had to choose between running into the back or going into the left lane. Ain't no way them boys are going left. Right lane is for men. Other lanes are for pussies. I was just going to say, the slow lane fits perfect for the incompetent. The left lane is the passing lane. Clearly, none of them read the Dodge sign. They took the Ram sign more seriously. You're assuming they can read. Goddamn Joe Biden hit my truck. I did that, Joe Biden sticker. No, it was Antifa. MAGA bros always ramming each other in the rear. How is this a butt sex joke? They're still financing these trucks on very low credit, I'll guarantee it. You have any idea how long 96 months is? Probably couldn't see shit because of all the Trump flags. Or jacking off to Tucker Carlson. Oh my God. I would pay somebody if they did that type of shit. All you have to do is make a cartoon or an animation or something with all of these jokes put into one presentation. Like, a MAGA dumb fuck is driving down the street and you gotta deck out, he's gotta have it all. He's gotta have the American-made pickup truck,
It's got to be covered with flags and stickers and American Eagle freaking films on the back window, and you gotta show them like literally jacking off to Tucker Carlson, listening to evangelical shit on the radio and AM radio, and setting fire to a pile of M&Ms in the passenger seat. Getting pissed because he doesn't want to pass another truck. You know, he doesn't go into the left lane because he's totally not gay, but he'd rather slam into the guy's rear end. And I would pay to see something like that. If somebody made some kind of cartoon or CGI film or something like that, I would love it. Before 2016, if someone were advocating for a resumption of government-sanctioned eugenics program, I would have been appalled. I'd be much more receptive to hearing them out now. I love that the phrase MAGA dumb fucks has just become part of the language now. There is literally no other way of describing them so perfectly in such a succinct manner. It's like saying ATM machine. Trumpanzees is a favorite of mine. Yeah, sadly these dumb fucks have turned the American flag into a giant red flag. Looks like Phoenix. Tons of MAGA idiots there from what I remember. Does your insurance cover Antifa riots? That's what just happened. Thanks, Obama. You're right. I can watch this on repeat all day. It's like a metaphor for their whole deal, sexually too. If the shots were given away for free because they're life-saving, why isn't insulin free? Chemotherapy, EpiPens. You know, sometimes they come so close, but stop just short. Sometimes they ram into the wall. But I guess their brains fly out and they don't realize they've hit the wall. Yeah. Oh God, this alien bitch. American police are now visiting Scotland to learn about less lethal policing tactics. You should know less lethal policing tactics. They're called the same tactics every one of us has to use every day. This proves they don't teach anything but the most heinous, absolutely out of control, over the top, bullshit, low down tactics for dealing with the public. They just outed themselves. Funniest thing about this whole Netflix debacle is that they think password sharing is what's losing them money, when in fact it's the dwindling selection and canceling popular shows after like one season. They've been doing that since the beginning. I still don't understand how anybody could pay for television or pay for movies. I haven't paid for TV or movies or animated shows or even seen an ad during a movie or TV show in like 10 years. I'm not even getting involved in this Netflix shit because I can watch whatever I want anytime I want without having to pay fees or come up with passwords. Oh no. New surveillance video obtained by Local 10 shows Hollywood police officers dragging a 69-year-old condo owner into an elevator after shooting him in 2022. And you know what? I love this. That all this video is being leaked. That no matter what happens or what they try to do, cops are being watched all the fucking time. They can be recorded at any fucking time. And it's getting harder and harder for them to get away with this shit.
By Local 10 News, showing the moment several Hollywood police.
Hold on a second.
Off the top at 4:30, new surveillance video obtained by Local 10 News showing the moment several Hollywood police officers drag a man into an elevator after shooting and wounding him. And that man on the ground is the same person who called police to report a disturbance in the first place.
And we're now hearing from his heartbroken daughter after she was shown that.
Of course, he's the one who called the cops. And he's dead.
That rather disturbing video. Our Rosh Lowe joining us live with this exclusive tonight. Rosh.
This video has never been seen before this moment, and I want to warn everyone, it is disturbing. In the video, you will see a man who is handcuffed, who has just been shot by police, and he's actually dragged into an elevator. It takes quite some time to get him help. His daughter, his only daughter, watched that video with me today, and she was heartbroken.
He's literally my best friend.
February 26, 2002. This is 69-year-old David Cotis. He asked neighbors to call Hollywood police because he said someone was breaking into his condo at around 8 o'clock in the morning.
He comes out with his gun, license to carry and everything.
Police arrive, and on the 14th floor, Cotis is shot by police in the chest.
Why they would treat him in such a way or drag him in to an elevator? They already have him handcuffed behind his back. He's wounded.
For the very first time, we are seeing this surveillance video after David was shot in the chest.
I just need to know why, what happened. I need answers.
Handcuffed. He is dragged into the elevator, which actually makes a stop. His family says it took more than 30 minutes to get him help, and they want to know why. David died almost a month after the shooting.
It's been a year waiting for forensic ballistic because they want to see who shot first.
David was the president of the board.
My God. There is nothing so bad that cops cannot make worse. And what's this? More bootlickers? And they always want to bring up police safety. Oh, have to hijack the comment to clarify this is Hollywood in Florida. Cops wonder why they're hated so fucking much. This is why you're hated so fucking much. They won't step up ever to admit they're wrong, but they'll still whine they aren't all the same. Aren't all the same because they're all on the same team. You know, I've been watching a lot of these guys lately. They are the behavior panel, these specialists on YouTube that get together and they go over body language and the psychology and language and whatnot of psychotics and criminals and people that constantly proclaim their innocence even though they're fucking guilty. It's a big thing. The whole public gets in on it. They vilify people who, of course, do horrible things. It's time to vilify the other villains who walk among us. Vilify the garbage that is still out there, that is allowed to walk the streets among us. I am so fucking sick of hearing that, you know, your taxes pay for them and they wear badges and pressed pants. So, you know, we give them leeway. No. Public servants are the last people who should be afforded any leeway. They should be held to practically impossibly high standards as public servants. This shit should warrant their death penalty. You torture, you kill an individual in pretty much any situation, you should be getting a death penalty yourself. Getting fired should be the least of their worries. The least. I'm going to take a little break here. I'll be right back. Alrighty. Lot of comments diminished here on Reddit. I don't know why these comments are being hidden. Their actions always tell the truth. They can and will treat you like actual garbage when they are angry or afraid or just if they're in a bad mood. And when they make the clear mistake, they will use your resources to cover it up. Just like with Michael Bell, Breonna Taylor, Batham Jean, Philando Castile, and too many others. One pig makes them all look like pigs. It is what it is. Doesn't matter if it's unfair. Just like the few priests that molest kids will make you look at any priest with suspicious eyes. And they will. And you know not all priests, of course. That goes without saying. Nobody is saying all priests, every single one. But there is a level of, culpability there, responsibility there. When you have just one priest in a parish or in the entire church, the entire organization, like with priests, you have one bad priest, you should know where there's one, there's going to be others. And where one is known to be a bad apple and is covered up for, is protected, is transferred, and this is using people's money, churches are not taxed, then there is a ring, there is a whole circle of people within that organization that know what's going on and choose to do nothing about it. They choose to hide it, they choose to cover it up, they choose to lie or lie through omission. They choose to just slap a little Band-Aid on it and not take care of the problem. If it happens once, it's gonna happen again. Other people are gonna know about it. And in the case of priests that molest children, this isn't just one or two. This isn't even just about half a dozen to a dozen. This is a deep-seated, massive problem. It's a feature. It is now a known feature of the church and the priesthood. Imagine all of the money and all of the corruption that has to be there to know, to cover it up, to lie, to dupe the whole world's population for years and years and years. And it keeps happening. And when you allow it to go on, it will attract other people that are into the same thing, knowing it's going to be covered up, knowing they can get away with shit. And this is a slap in the face to the church itself. You've got to know that if they're already covering up for pedophile priests, they're already allowing things to slide, that it's just a matter of time before more people who may not have any interest in the religion, may not have any interest in being a priest, are going to be attracted to this. They'll say whatever they have to say, take whatever seminar they have to take in order to get the job, because their goal is molesting children. It's the same thing here. If you have 5 bad cops, 5 bad cops, and 100 other cops who will pat him on the back, who will lie for him, who will try to help him, who don't care about what he's doing, whose first loyalty is to other cops and not to the public, not to common decency, not to anything else. Even if they tell you later they don't really care for it, or they just decided not to say, then you have 105 bad cops. This is part of the reason when an employee at a job, or a manager, or anybody, a spokesperson for fuck's sake, for a company, does something really fucking nasty to somebody else, even if, if it may be criminal, but it doesn't end up going to court yet, or they haven't fleshed out the details yet, they're gone. They are gone. Jared from Subway, he was gone. At the sound of the first allegation, the first news that this guy had actually lost his weight sitting at Subway, because you've heard this, of course, right? With Jared, he lost all this weight because he ate veggie Subway sandwiches. Apparently, that's the reason he lost weight, by eating veggie Subway sandwiches. He had no internet at home. And the closest Subway to him had free Wi-Fi. And he has to buy something to be able to sit there and look up his fucking child porn all day. So the cheapest thing on the menu is a small veggie sub with no meat on it. This guy literally jerked himself off to losing hundreds of pounds. And nobody knew about it. And then eventually it came to light and he was gone. I don't even think he had gone to trial yet, or had been sentenced yet. He was still in that innocent until technically proven guilty point. It didn't matter. He was gone. You don't allow yourself to associate with anybody like that. It fucks your reputation. It fucks your look. It gets in the way of business. It ruins everything for you. The CEOs of Subway could be paying lobbyists to bend the ears of Republicans. They could be just as evil as any other horrible CEO and board member shit out there. They could be just as horrible as anybody that the American people are hurt by. But even they have the common sense to know. When it turns out your spokesperson may have looked at child porn, he's gone. When there's a video of an employee spitting in somebody's food, they're gone. When they do anything untoward to another human being, they're gone. There is no question. You don't even discuss it with them. They're gone. You cannot afford to be even associated with these types of people anymore. You will not let that behavior tarnish your reputation. They get it. So Captain Kirk is right. One pig makes them all look like pigs. You really want respect? You want to be treated better? You don't want people hanging you from the rafters if they actually had the wherewithal to get that done? It's not just in what you personally claim you're for or you're against, or the fact that, you just decided not to get involved, it didn't say anything. No. You are part of this problem. I don't care if it's just 5 bad apples. If you are one of 100 other cops or 1,000 other cops that know anything and continue to get paid while you stand around and do nothing, being a part of a system like this, then you are a bad fucking cop. You have 1,005 bad cops. And Fox News won't cover this, but if they do, it'll be like, this is an isolated incident and police are our anointed angels doing God's work. And it's because of liberal policies that cause this. Liberal policies. Man, if I were in charge, it would be like Iran for these people. I wish, somebody like Bernie or anybody even close to thinking like me or any of these good people here on Reddit right now were placed in charge, even for just a year. I'll give Fox News something to cry about, let me tell you. He lived for 3.5 weeks and his family wasn't allowed to see him. Weird, they still have their jobs, right? This is somehow less egregious than the Tyree Nichols murder, right? There certainly can't be any reason why these white cops still have their jobs, right? Fuck these jackbooted thugs. He was murdered. Yeah. Manslaughter? You hope they get charged for manslaughter. It's another thing, manslaughter. Manslaughter is when you seriously injure or kill somebody and it's a total fluke. You are definitely a part of the reason they're dead, but you didn't mean to do anything, or it was just a one-off thing that could be construed as an accident, nothing you planned. This type of shit is not manslaughter. They do this shit on purpose. I can guarantee you that. Yep. Should be second-degree murder at best, probably first degree. They didn't want him telling anybody what really happened, is why the scumbags wouldn't let anyone see him. Every one of them was involved in the shooting, and cover-up should be out away for life. Yeah. No way. He was probably in a fucking induced coma or something. I will say that much. Because if I were conscious and I were in a hospital bed, I don't give a fuck what any cop says. The hospital is going to do what I tell them to do. If I'm conscious, If I'm allowed to have visitors like any other patient, I'm going to have visitors. I'm going to be making phone calls. I am never going to let any fucking pig tell me as I lie dying in a hospital bed who I am and am not allowed to speak to in my last days. And I'll imagine he was 69 years old. I'm pretty sure he knew that too. If he were conscious, if he were able to speak or was in his right frame of mind, I'm sure he would have told hospital personnel, get my daughter in here, or I want a phone, or my cell phone. It's for me to decide who I'm going to communicate with. They don't tell you, even if you saw me kicking an infant through a field goal posting and I ended up getting shot and that's why I'm here, or I'm guilty, or I don't give a fuck. They don't tell me who I can speak to. So basically, he stood a better chance of dealing with intruders himself rather than calling the cops. Fucking punk-ass thugs. May they spend eternity in a room with everyone they incarcerated when they die. Yeah. Meanwhile, DeSantis is legislating gas stoves. Good Lord, do the police force only hire complete idiots? Yes, they actually do. American police are seriously the biggest fucking pussies I've ever seen. It's a systemic problem. Psychopaths. Well, low IQ. Low IQ. Really low. Oh my God. All you need is a civil service exam, $10 fee, and a few weeks at a training camp. And you get to kill whoever you want. Fucking pigs. I'll tell you. Okay, I'll see you in a bit. I just wanted to go over how Greg Abbott is a little piss baby, along with the usual shtick. I'll see ya.